Don't do it.
Okay. All right. So I guess if my guess was what 20's D&D character would have to be, if he didn't go magical, it'd be a type of ranger slash like alchemist, where like he would have like poison arrows, like he'd be able to take potions where he can be invisible and things like that. He would never be a frontline person.
That's a very,
So
very good.
because he is he works towards those kind of things whenever he plays games. Look at the way he plays through most of his games. So if he goes magical, he's gonna go powerful, but he's not gonna be a battle mage because he's not gonna want to take any hits. Once again, he's not gonna be on the front lines. If he shows up, he's showing up. If he shows up, he's showing up. He's nuking the area and he's leaving. So,
Farm basically.
so
Fireball.
yeah. So if he doesn't go rogue in some kind of magical, he's gonna end up going like a shadow mage or something along those lines. Nothing like
Goes
alpha.
wrong. He chooses like a rogue.
He appears. Oh wait! I didn't even think of the most paladin. I didn't even think about that. But he don't like being a healer. But he is Captain Save-A-Ho. God dang it! That's a hard one. That's a really hard one. Because paladins can still be powerful without always having. You know what? Dang! Now I didn't work my way into a conundrum.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah.
Give us the backstory.
All right, give us the
I will
backstory.
give you the backstory. All right. So the backstory. First off, I need you to understand. By the way, hello, welcome to another Above Average Ninja broadcast. I'm host Liike20ninjas, and this is a mini broadcast going over 20 trying out D&D. So he built himself a D&D character. He's done one session with this character so far. Does not really know much about D&D, so he's stepping his foot in, jumping in both feet, and seeing what happens. To that end, here's the backstory, and the backstory happens because the dungeon master allowed us access to a lot of books and therefore a lot of characters and said pick any of them.
That's pretty
Therefore,
awesome.
20 might have picked a character that technically is not on the world of the campaign that he is in. So, part of the backstory is explaining why such a character is now on the world of the campaign that he is in.
Some timey wibbly wobbly stuff.
Sorta. So, here's the backstory. The story goes that long ago, a great blue flame descended from the sky and swept through the land. Anything touched by this blue flame had the risk of being destroyed or warped by its energies. It was a small wisp of a far greater calamity born elsewhere. It struck in a small part of the mountainous region of Adar in Sarlona. There was an insular community there of Kalstar who resided in that space, soon to be struck by the calamity. The quarry spirits diffused in this population sensed the terrifying energy and, for the briefest moment, manifested an attempt at protection. This attempted, in a way, save those within the community as it was struck. Yet as the blue flame washed amongst the community and the sky was covered in fire, the Kalstar fell into the Great Sleep. When this community emerged from the Great Sleep, they had found that the mountains that had housed them had disappeared from view. The entire landscape had changed. In their attempt at protection, the quarry's soul's protection had shielded the community mostly from the energy of the blue flame. But, curiously, through that protection, the entire community was whisked away, and a scorched hole was left where once a thriving community had lived in the mountains, marking the spot now known as the Home of the Lost. Those who now bore the title of the Lost had, in fact, been misplaced. A mishap born of energy of warping, destruction, and protection. The entire settlement had become part of a new world, a different world. And so the community had been established for 100 years on this new world, safe from the siege, but an entirely new land. This calamity for these people split the town into intellectual debate. There are those who study to find a way back to their homeland, seeking to transcend time and space to once again reach their ancestral home. There are others who see this as a second chance of a new start, free of the siege of the Redan army and forever out of the reach of the Dreaming Dark, a place where even the Dreaming Dark and its minions cannot reach them, ensuring the survival of their species by being forever out of reach. Though many did not believe that the Dreaming Dark was forever out of reach and simply biding its time to make a way into this new world as well. In preparation for that day, a group formed in the community meant to train and protect against the potential invasion of the Dreaming Dark. Others sought out to understand this new world better. Some left the community to form and establish information networks, often passing as simply awkward humans. Others, still in following the path of light, simply sought out to eradicate evil in this new world. Born of this community, Deton Harath, nicknamed Deton, is an adventurer who is a devout follower of the path of light. He seeks to bring about the Elan and believes it will be done in part by self-improvement and acts of light. Acts of light such as compassion, courage, and acts of kindness, such as mediating disputes. All are ways to bring about the dreaming light. Though he sees himself as a light bringer, he is considered a Shishantol, or shadow watcher, as he is not above violent courses of actions to deal with the forces of darkness and evil. Though since his community had been removed from the greater Kalistar for over 100 years, the lines have been blurred a bit over time. Yet Deton is a conflicted individual, for not only does he have the connection to the quarry spirit that may or may not drive him towards brief bouts of insanity and confusion, but also because the magic chose him. For his family is not as pure blood as the others. Deep within his family tree lies that of a few bronze dragons, from the time where the dragons had come to the aid to help save the world of his people through aiding the giants. Because of that, he has been bestowed upon with a deep ancient magic as well as some personality traits befitting of his ancestor. Due to his heritage, he had an elevated sense of purpose, often believing his way is the proper way. He has a strong sense of justice, and, when younger, had very little patience for fools. He will seek to debate and argue at times when he is seeking a more diplomatic path, but can be prone to react with very explosive violence at other times, sometimes with very little warning, a trait that he has used his Kalistar background to mostly temper. He sees the world in black and white and tries to operate in the subtlety of gray, allowing him to trick and deceive when he feels it will achieve a greater good. He often feels that disagreement comes from willful ignorance and the lack of vision of others. Yet he will not always voice this, oftentimes willing to see how something plays out and potentially exploring a different way to accomplish a goal. He had no desire to be a mage when he was younger, instead focusing on the meditative practices and martial training to prepare for his life as an adult. Yet a dispute that took place outside the borders of his hometown led to a manifestation of sorts, one that left a would-be attacker dazed and paralyzed from an energy he never knew he could harness. With lightning appearing so young, he initially saw himself as a chosen agent for the path of light, being granted special abilities, and what was more light than lightning itself. Try as he might, he has yet to be able to manifest more than being able to have lightning spring from his hands to shock a creature he has touched. Yet he knows if he could simply learn and understand more, he could truly master this power. A power he later learned was bestowed to him due to his bloodline from his parents, though they were surprised to see it manifest. So he seeks to also learn and understand these abilities, grow in power, and eventually become one of the ultimate Lightbringers and Shadow Watchers. With very much alive and loving family and community, he seeks to help those he can, become the best he feels he can be, learn as much as he can of this new world his community is now a part of, and changing the world for the better before he dies. Though he is terrified that he could easily stray from the path, or worse yet, lose his mind to insanity due to the warring forces within him, both magic, spirit, and blood. That is his backstory.
So, first of all, the Radon Army, you asshole. I'll let that go.
Hey, that's a species issue right there. His species is currently under siege.
I got you. So, what is your classification of this species? What is the book's classification of it?
So it's called Kalistar.
Okay, hang on a second. I actually have a book, the D&D book. Give me 2 seconds. I actually want to see what this looks like. It'll be faster to just look it up. Yeah.
Evans is quiet.
Oh, I was on mute. I was actually asking questions. Um,
Oh wow, I heard none of them.
yeah. What? So you mentioned a few different things. What specifically is the class? Because it sounded to me a little bit like a paladin, but at the same time a little bit like um the other things. What specifically
Wait,
is the class you're going with?
so he did go to Paladin, basically?
That's what it
No,
sounds like.
I wanted to go paladin when I was trying to do some research, but no, I am not a paladin.
So what is your classification then?
So, first, the actual species, the Calistar, they're interesting because the way they came about was they were human monks that allowed these quarry spirits to fuse with them in order to give them safe harbor and actually created a breeding
Monks.
group. So they have the background of being I guess almost kind of like Vulcans in a way if I really think about it kind of hard, but it also means that they have resistance to psychic damage. I can talk to people in their mind because I have the ability to talk directly to their mind. I can talk to any creature in a mental link with them if I can see them and they can understand at least one language. So they have to have enough intelligence to understand at least one language.
Leave it to
So that I
Like
can
20
talk to them.
Ninjas to find that freaking loophole. Well, I bet you searched. That was one of the first things you went for is language. He said, if I can do language, if I can talk to him, maybe I can convince him of anything. So give me
Yeah,
just a second.
that was
Hang on.
part of
I'll
it.
be right back. Give me just a second.
Now, if you combine that whole mind thing with the rogue subclass swashbuckler, you'd have a natural boost in charisma, making it so much easier to persuade as well.
Okay, anyway,
character-
loophole. Continue.
I mean, my character is only level 2 right now, but his charisma is like 16.
Yeah,
So he's definitely going for the silver
He's
tongue
go-
approach.
What, so you're a freaking bard?
No, not yet.
Yes.
Not yet. Oh my god. It's like, not yet.
Yes.
Um, I got his personality traits listed as well. But basically, the way I have it right now is because I have him on a character arc of growth kind of thing. So he starts off having, not really great skill in martial arts, but he's carrying 2 daggers, and he has basically what I'm calling a taser touch. The catnip. Is that what it's called? Catnip? Cantrip?
Cantrip.
That thing.
Catnip.
Cantrip.
Cat-
He has a
Catnip.
cantrip.
Really effective against the
Look,
boxes.
I was gonna get him
I'm not
into it.
laughing to make fun of you, but it was like it was kind of funny. It is, but it's cool that you actually keep up with that. Cool.
Yeah, he has this one called Shocking Grasp, where its lightning springs from your hand to deliver a shock to a creature you try to touch. Make a melee spell attack against the target. You have advantage on that attack while if the target is wearing armor made of metal. On a hit, the target takes 1d8 lightning damage, which I found out means 1 dice that's 8-sided. And it can't take reactions until the start of its next turn. And the spell's damage increases by 1d8 when you reach 5th level, and then it goes to 2d8, 11th level 3d8, and 17th level 4d8.
Okay, hold up a second. So your character right now is wearing robes as a monk, using lightning that shoots out of its hands. Is that correct?
I mean, he has to kind of basically touch you, but yeah.
Not
you're
lightning.
Palpatine.
He has a touch that can tase you. He's basically low level Miles Morales.
Palpatine. I'm saying he's
Miles
level
Morales.
Palpatine.
Miles Morales.
I'm
Tony,
saying
which one would you
say?
Well, so the way I have him built, or the way I plan for him to become built, I guess is how I should say that. The way I plan for him to become built over time is that he starts off with this idea of, He'll stab you or he'll zap you. Really, he tries to talk his way out of situations, and he has some illusion magic as well to try to trick people in order to get to the desired result. But over time, he's going to learn to sort of understand and rely on the magic because he's a sorcerer.
Okay. That didn't answer my question at all. But okay. Like,
It's okay. He'll know more about, especially with your first character. You learn more about the character as you play it. Even if you're the one that created it, you and I both know that Armored.
yeah, that's true. Because you start out with this character, and this campaign may change your progression of your character and everything. So this is what he is as he starts. Let's see where he is in 15, 20 sessions later.
Charisma characters are also really fun to play because you can really mess with your DM and literally just like get your.
See, I would love to play a campaign with y'all, but none of us could be DM because one of us would spend most of our time trying to kill a certain person, and that person is me trying to kill certain people. So I can't. I wouldn't be able to do it. And 20 would spend most of his time seeing if he can kill me or how interestingly he could kill all of us. So I would be okay with that part, but the fact that I know that he would kill me in some special way that I wouldn't see coming because he knows me well enough to know better, yeah, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I've DM'd a few
pissed.
times.
Huh?
And I've DM'd a few times, and one of the ones I did for like a one shot, the character's supposed to like basically start off going to receive a reward from like a previous quest type of thing.
Hang on.
Turn
Let
in the dungeon.
real quick. Let me say something real quick. Did he argue? I rest my case. Continue.
Basically, they turn in the dungeon. Old man's like next to him that they didn't know at the time was supposed to be like the person you're supposed to rescue at the end. That like was being framed for everything, and didn't realize. I realized, but one of the characters that my friends were playing was a necromancer. So the first thing they did, they stabbed the person they were trying to rescue, and then used him as a undead the entire time. And I was like, I don't know how to end this now, because supposed to be a one shot where you come back and rescue this person after finding your way back at it through everything, and that's gone completely south.
Well,
that's D&D.
As
a DM, you spend like an entire week or so prepping something, and then your players derail it in the first 2 seconds.
You can get walled.
So basically, it was supposed to be like a rescue mission type of thing, but they weren't supposed to realize that at the start. And so they started off in a dungeon. There's an old man in there with them who eventually was supposed to be the person they were going to come back and realize they needed to come back and rescue him because he was like an important figure in the kingdom. And one of the players stabs him, turns him into an undead zombie to follow him around and do his bidding, without realizing that he was supposed to be the person they're supposed to rescue at the end. And this is like in the first like 2 minutes of the game, and I was like, great.
That kind of reminds me of the murder hobo I'm playing with.
There's usually at least one, yeah.
Yeah, like we come up to this cave mouth, and so I investigate the cave mouth and notice 2 goblins sleeping nearby on guard duty. And so since I can do mental communications instead of alerting the goblins, since he was technically in the front, I let him know, hey, be careful, there's 2 sleeping goblins over there. Now, instead of discussing with the party or letting me even finish telling the rest of the party that the goblins are over there and we could come up with some sort of plan of whether or not we're going to sneak past or take him on, this man immediately Leroy Jenkins and starts attacking the goblins, which he doesn't kill either one of them. I end up killing one and the tank ends up killing one. Upon which I think my character resolved to never tell that character things again because he was mad that he had to immediately start fighting when my character would much rather not fight if he could help it. And we do milestone leveling up, not experience leveling up, so we don't gotta kill everything in sight to level up, you know?
I don't know about a way to do it, honestly. Every 2 quests you get 3 levels. Every 2 campaigns you get not 2 campaigns, but 2 sessions, you You get 3 levels.
Some kind of can be through feats and stuff like that too, though.
Yep.
Okay, so let's see. Let's
Why'd
go
you leave
ahead
the
and
last fire team, by the way?
I don't
Find
know
out.
how I did that. I really don't.
Alright, so I'm going to
I
end this
don't
broadcast,
wanna
eat some more
use-
food, and then I'm going to start the next broadcast.
All right, later, man.
I was going to stay at the party, unless you want me to leave. Actually, I'm not leaving.
Just try and kick him out. Just